Hello, Thomas. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm, I almost lost track of time, but I'm good. Lost track of the days.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, not a problem. Not a problem. Debbie said, hello, early birds. No, we're not early. We just got here. Evelyn says, hello, friends. This is Lynn. Hi, Cindy and Thomas. Hi, Evelyn, the slightly evil one. No, I don't think Evelyn has an evil bone in her body.
No.
No. Hello. Hello. By the way, this is my sister.
Yes.
She's one that got me started on keto long time ago. Driving home as usual. Be careful. She's driving home from Tai Chi class. So, Thomas, you had sent me your story, and I know you've been on other live streams that I have not seen.
Okay.
But what I've read, it's like, you got a lot going on. And you had a lot going on, and man, it's powerful. It was great seeing many of you last week. Yeah, Deb was at the meetup with me in Amo, Indiana, last Saturday. Brenda Foley's here. Hello, Brenda. Sandy Blythe is here. Hello,
Hey,
Sandy.
How you doing?
Josephine, come over from your channel. Hello, Josephine. Howdy, beautiful riblets. Jeff Foltz is here. Hello, Jeff. That's what happened to me on Wednesday. It's summer and I'm a teacher. I thought it was Saturday on Wednesday. Missed your live. It's okay. You were missed, though. I missed you. Look at that nice shaven face. Whoa, he cleaned up just for tonight.
Yeah.
So, Thomas, your story. Go for it.
Okay.
What got you started on keto, ketovore, carnivore?
I actually started on keto quite a while ago when I was starting to have major problems with my feet and everything like that. Basically, what happened, to go a little bit, not really into the beginning, but somewhat to the beginning, my first problem I had was I was actually working for a car dealership, and I pretty much thought my ankle went out in my heel, and I could hardly walk. And obviously I'm not looking at my foot or anything like that. I'm just kind of like ended up going to the hospital, and the doctor looked at it and ended up that I had a hole in my foot. The bones kind of like, and it was a start of diabetic foot ulcer. So it's kind of like the beginning of the end, I guess you could say. I had diabetes for quite a while before that. I have had it since I was 30.
Type 2?
Type 2, yes. And I'm 52 now. I'm going to be 53 in September. So, but I pretty much just did what the doctors told me. I controlled my carbs. And I say that like that because you really can't control things, and it's sort of like a slippery slope with doing that, like, oh, if you take the insulin, you could eat more carbs. And one day I was actually, I did the ulcer, and then did that was about a year. And about fast forward after my mom passed away and everything like that, I actually had to go to the hospital again. And my other foot, I'm still dealing with a hole in my foot, which is called a diabetic foot ulcer. Had a wound vac and everything on it. And I ended up having to get my big toe taken off.
On your other foot?
On my other foot, on my right foot. The heel was my left foot. The toe was my right foot. And then, so I had to go through all that, to get bandaged up, took a while. And then I ended up, about 6 months later, had a situation where I was actually working, like part-time, because I wasn't getting benefits or anything like that at that time. So I still had to work. I still had to make money. And I was like calling off of work all the time, going to the hospital. They would never admit me, but so I finally went to the podiatrist. And I said, what do I need to do to stop this from me going to the hospital with all this pain and everything like that? And he said, well, take off your other toes, like pretty blunt, he's like, you need to remove the other toes because they're probably causing you the problem. So I thought about it, and he kind of like misled me a little bit. He said that, like it would just be taken off, it'd be like a straight stitch right across, and you would heal like within like 2 months. So I'm like, all right, took about that long for the big toe to heal, but okay, like obviously he was totally wrong. It was actually and he gave me a reason, but I'll be honest with you, I don't really remember what the reason is, because I was probably just in so much pain and so much misery that he could have told me I had $1 million, and I would not have paid attention to it, and it took almost a year and a half before it fully closed up and it was fully healed, because he left it totally open. Now, why he did that, like I said, I don't remember what he said, but unfortunately I couldn't do anything about it. You just have to deal with it, and so finally my foot healed, and so now I'm like I forget what they call it, like where you have all 5 toes removed from the one foot, and I have about 20, and on the other foot with the hole in the heel, it happened to me about 4 times, and I had some operations, and I have about 25% of my heel bone removed, which actually makes me pretty lucky, because I was actually in a wheelchair for quite a while, and I was in a wheelchair for another reason too, which I'll get into. But I was actually in the wheelchair. I had a walker. I had what you call a knee scooter. I've had wound vacs. During the infections that actually happened to me a few times, I had what was called a PICC line. And I don't know if you know what a PICC line is, but for anybody in the audience, it's basically almost like an IV that stays in your body for like almost 8 weeks, and it just goes right up and goes like about an inch away from your heart. So
yep, I had one.
Yeah, I had it. I had them 3 times. So one was outpatient, and then the other one was and at that time I had a car, so I actually had to drive, because it was about 20 miles to the closest place that actually did the outpatient procedure, and because they didn't, for some reason, they couldn't send me a nurse to do the procedure. I had to go to the outpatient place, and which was kind of weird, driving with like a PICC line in your arm, and then the other 2 were actually in the rehab. And try eating carnivore in rehab. Even eating keto in rehab is like next to impossible. They don't even know the meaning of it.
Yeah, they make it pretty hard. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, my last time I had there, I was a little stricter, but even then, like I told the doctor, believe it or not, I told the doctor that, you're taking care. I'm here in the hospital. I'm here in the rehab because of my foot. I had another operation. It was the final operation. It was like the final like closer and all that stuff. And I told the doctor, I said, I'm here for the foot. That's all you guys have to be clear about. I know I'm diabetic, but I will take care of my food. I just order the food. Do not put me on a diabetic diet. Do not put me on there. And he pretty much, he's like, okay, if you think that you could do better, then that's up to you. And then there was another doctor who kind of took me off and put me back on, and my sugars went right up again. I'm like, see, my sugar, because the whole time I was off that diabetic hospital diet, my sugars were like all in control. I'm like, see, doing it my way, my sugars are good. Doing it your way, they skyrocket. He goes, well, yeah, you just need insulin.
Now, I have a question.
I'm trying to get off the insulin, not.
Before the doctor removed your other 4 toes,
mm-hmm.
He said that might be what's causing the problem?
No, he thinks it was causing the problem.
He thinks, but he wasn't sure.
Well, no.
That's what I'm saying. It was like, what?
He was, yeah. I mean, he was like, I'm not sure what the percentage was, but he was pretty, enough for me to be like, okay, this is probably what I need to do and stuff like that, Um, I guess there's never really a certainty, like 100% certainty on anything, but
That was a drastic movement.
yeah.
Drastic move. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's done with now. It's happened.
Right.
And, I mean, I can't get them back. So I mean,
No.
as
And
much
that
as
all healed?
as much as I love carnivore to be able to grow my toes back, I don't think it's possible. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that all healed. So your right foot's all healed?
Like I said, my right foot has the missing toes, but yeah, it's pretty much healed. I'm no longer using any, fast forward, I'm no longer using any medical devices. Mm-hmm. I with care, I can walk up and down stairs now. Don't have any special boots or anything like that. Like all I have is a special shoe that has an insert to it, so so that my feet don't like slide around in my shoes. I walk around the track. I mean, I do have to stop and everything like that and hold on. Like a lot of times, Mitch was actually saying yesterday in a video that he actually, or no, on one of his private chats, he was saying that he actually holds on, like when he walks, he holds on to like a tree or something like that, just to kind of get balance. And that's kind of what I have to do, like every once in a while.
Right. Without a doubt. I mean, that's. Whew.
And I think it's going to be for a long time. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. But then another thing that happened to me was I was actually in the wheelchair, and this might actually feel a little bit more major to you. But in between,
it's all major.
Yeah. Well, wait. So, what happened to me again was right after I was getting out of the rehab of my 4 toes. I still had the bandaging and everything like that, but it was finally time to go back home. So I went home and I was in a wheelchair still, and I was in a lot of pain, and it was like going down my leg and everything. So one day I had to go to the hospital anyway. I was there for and I was lucky. I was actually getting free rides because I had Medicaid by this time. And I would actually I actually went to what was called wound care, where I'd go and they would actually look at my foot, the podiatrist, and see how it's doing, see how it's healing and everything. And they'd rewrap it and all that fun stuff. Well, the pain was still persisting. And I'm thinking to myself, like, well, I'm already in the hospital. I might as well go to the ER. So I went to the ER, told them what was happening, and they gave me an IV painkiller, like an IV Tylenol, basically. And they said, "Oh, this will be a lot better because it's going to go right through your system, and it should help you." Well, the funny thing is, or the stupid thing is, whatever you want to call it, okay, is it wasn't really helping my pain. It helped disperse it a little bit, like in one area, but the pain was still there in most of the area. So I told the nurse, I said, I don't think, like I said, should it be helping me by now? Or like, how long will it take to take effect? And she goes, no, it should be in your system and you should be feeling good. I said, well, I'm not. And I don't think it's working. So the nurse actually with a straight face looks at me and says, well, we already did your discharge papers, so we can't look at you now. So I actually asked, and she gave me a look like I had four heads. And I said to her, I said, so if I was having a heart attack right now, because I'm discharged, you tell me that I have to come back? Like, I know my pain might not be considered that important, but I'm here. Like, why don't you x-ray? Why don't you do the stuff you need to do, And she just gave me a look like I was the stupidest person in the world, And it's like, wow. Like that's a legit question, Like you're telling me I have to go home, but if would you tell me the same thing if like all of a sudden I was grasping my heart and I dropped on the floor? No, so but I ended up going home. Then about 3 days later, now this is around my birthday, by the way, so it's a pretty important to me. It's pretty important, and my birthday's on the 20th of September, so it's in the September framework. And about like maybe 3 days later, I went back in, and I noticed that I wasn't going to the bathroom. that much. It was like 4 days since I've been to the bathroom. Now, I don't think that was really the cause, because it was only one day when it first happened, And I thought at first maybe it had to do with the wheelchair at the rehab, because it wasn't really the best wheelchair in the world. So I thought maybe being on that was a problem, and the bed and all that stuff, because just the equipment's just not that great in a lot of these rehabs. So I went back a second day, and I told her about my bathroom. Well, they actually unwrapped my foot, okay, to look at the foot, which I have no idea, but the pain was not in my foot, so I don't know why they needed to look at my foot. It was like the weirdest thing. And I could hardly move my back. It was a lot worse than even the first day. Like, I could hardly move. I got myself into a wheelchair I found, because I was brought in by a gurney, so I didn't have a wheelchair of my own. And I was there for 16 hours. I'm kind of shortening it a little bit, because, we don't have that much, don't have enough time in the day. But basically, I was there for about 16 hours. And long story short, they just gave me a script for laxative. And the security guard actually, and I actually had to wrap my foot back up myself. They never wrapped it up. Like, they took it off, but I actually had to, with an old bandage, I had to wrap it up myself.
Oh no!
I did feel I had to go to the bathroom, so I did try to go to the bathroom, which is why I found the wheelchair in the first place, because I had to do everything, Well, in the end, I got myself back to the gurney. I didn't get out of the wheelchair, and the wheelchair was broken, by the way. It was like, there was like hardly any seat, so it's like, try doing that. And a security guard comes up to me and wheels me outside with no discharge papers or anything, wheels me outside and says, okay, you can go home now. Like, I was like some vagrant, like some homeless person that was trying to take refuge in the hospital. Like, that, no. Like, so obviously I went home, because I'm like pissed. I'm like, no one's going to be on my side there, So I already figured that the best thing for me to do is to go home and to call the administrator, and complain. Like, what's the point of complaining there to the doctor that actually kicked me out, And so a few days later after that, I went back through an ambulance again, but this time I was so bad that I couldn't move at all. I literally, they literally had to pick me up. I needed, I was in really bad shape. My brother-in-law actually came. He had to pull me up in order to sit me up in the bed. I could not move. I couldn't even sit. Like, I was so bad, I couldn't even sit in the wheelchair anymore. I couldn't even, the pain was just so intense that I couldn't do. So I guess the doctor got wind that I made the complaint, or whatnot. At least it felt that way. And he this time gave me an MRI test, and he also gave me a CAT scan. He did everything that they should have done in the beginning, and found an infection right inside my spine, a MRSA infection, right inside the spine, and it was sort of causing me like a temporary paralysis in my back. And the only way that I could have been able to walk again is to get the antibiotics to kill the infection. So obviously I had to go back to the hospital. For about almost 2 months, I was not able to move in my bed. I could hardly eat. I was throwing food up. And during that time, I was actually fasting too, because I thought maybe that would help. But it ended up going, like, you ever do something like that, it starts out being a good thing, and then it's like, it kind of like spirals downward. Well, what happened was I was fasting for 4 days during this time. And right when they put me in the hospital, the podiatrist wanted to look at my foot just in case the infection was coming from the foot, but he wanted to go deep into it. He didn't want to just do an x-ray. So I had to do another operation. So he had to open up and look at the foot. And at least that's what he felt he had to do. And he, nothing was found on the foot. So whether the infection came from the foot or not, we don't know. But because it was open for so long, but so I was like hardly able to move. But like we had to do it. I always forget the pronunciation. I think it's either NPO or NPR. I always forget the initials. and it's basically nothing through mouth, like nothing orally. And so, technically I wasn't eating, for those 2 days, and I wasn't drinking water either or anything. So it was like a dry fast for those 2 days. And then after the operation, I was so sick, I wasn't keeping any food down. So a total of 9 days that I wasn't really eating. Had to get a speech therapist, because I'll be honest with you, thank you, 22K Quat. She just answered my question. Sorry. Basically I was basically fasting for that whole time, and these are the things I went through. And then I pretty much knew about carnivore for quite a while. My mom actually was really sick, and we actually did keto together. We started off watching Dr. Barry, and we watched a few others too. I don't know if you remember Bob Briggs, Butter Made My Pants Fall Down. I don't know if you remember him or not.
Butter Bob. No, I never did watch him. No.
Well, I watched him a few times. My mom she just liked the idea of him saying his pants fell down. So, yeah, like two things that she loved Dr. Barry. She was getting pretty sick. She actually had metastatic breast cancer, and unfortunately hers hit her bones. So one of the things towards the end is her skull got affected. So obviously, her skull got deteriorated. So her brain, it was almost like having Alzheimer's or dementia towards the end.
Wow.
So
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, she's in a better place now. So thank you for that. It's been 4 years, but I miss her every day. But but she, when she was still alive, she loved Dr. Barry, and she loved Bella too. She loved Bella's music, her piano playing. And I think she had a crush on Dr. Barry, because every single time she'd hear him talk, she'd get right up, sit right up, and be like, "Okay, his video's on, gotta watch it." So how I got her to kind of move around and stuff. But the funny thing is, we were on keto for a while, and she was actually doing pretty well in the beginning. She was not that bad at this point anyway, but she was actually walking up and down stairs. She was able to stop the walker, able to walk around the track. She was slow, like I am now, but she was able to do. But her why, I always say, don't have another why if your why is losing weight, because if your only why is to lose weight, you're going to be disappointed, or you're probably going to be disappointed, I should say. Not really disappointed, but you're probably going to be disappointed.
They say your why needs to make you cry.
Right. And I mean, some people think that it does make them cry, but I think that, you definitely need to add on to it. Well, why do you want to lose weight? Get to that point of, well, I want to be there for my daughter's wedding, or I want to be there for my grandchildren. Okay, well then make that your why. Don't make it, because then it's all about health. It's not about your waistline, but with her, unfortunately, her why was losing weight, and she wasn't losing any weight. So even though she was walking more, even though she was doing all this great stuff, she gave up on it because her why wasn't being met. So that's always why I say that, because my mom went through that, Yeah. And, but going back to me, so I went through all that stuff, and it was and I also had a really bad roommate too. I had an alcoholic roommate during this whole time, that her average beer intake was about 20 to 30 cans a day, mostly 30 cans a day. She would eat a whole case of beer every day, and after a while, she actually stopped paying me rent. She would find she was stealing money from her friends, credit card, her friends were stupid enough to give their credit card information. So shame on them too. but she would actually steal the information. And then for a while she'd get beer and stuff like that sent to the house. And unfortunately, the law was more on her side. I couldn't get rid of her until she actually left the house, and then I was able to change the locks. But for 5 months, she was in my apartment, no rent or anything. So I had to do all that.
So health-wise, your right foot healed.
My right foot healed.
The left foot that had the hole in it, that eventually healed, right?
Well, technically, it had more than one hole. It's in the same spot, but it healed 4 times. It had a hole, healed up, sealed up, and then a hole would form again, because the whole time you're still eating the carbs, you're still doing, and you're still not solving the problem.
Right.
I mean, so far I haven't had any trouble. I'm able to do, and I test that too. Like, I've been on and off carnivore for quite a while, but I always say that I didn't start being fully carnivore until for 5 months ago. And when I say fully carnivore, is when I first did it, I was like I was behind the lines. I was sort of like watching the videos, but I wasn't going to the chats. I wasn't like joining any groups. I wasn't like I'm doing now with the interview, with like the interviews and stuff like that. And I think that's what you need to do with carnivore. You need to at least join the chats. You need to kind of like integrate yourself into the system,
Well,
And
in any facet of the proper human diet, community is important.
that's what I mean. So that was the
Yeah.
missing link. That was the missing part.
And right. And whether you're keto, ketovore, carnivore, low carb, God help us, sugar diet, whatever it is,
That's the dumbest diet.
find it.
Sorry.
And we say it all the time. Find what works for you. And as long as you're successful with it, you're healthy with it,
Right.
that's great.
Oh, I agree.
And
Totally.
that's the thing.
And
Real quick in the chat, when I get caught up, Evelyn had said a while back, you had a hole in your foot. Wow.
Yeah. That's what diabetic foot ulcer basically is.
Yeah. Well, my husband is a type 1 diabetic. He's had it since he was 2 years old. He's 63. And trust me, the hoops that he jumps through to stay healthy is incredible. This is Andy. And they're all saying hello. This is my husband speaking to the devil.
Oh, hello.
His name is actually Brian.
That's what I thought, but yeah.
Or guinea pig, whichever.
Is she talking to me or?
No, that's my husband goes by guinea pig on my videos when he does taste testing. And it's been a long process. You obviously are not watching my videos, Thomas.
Sorry.
Shame, you gave yourself up.
I'm sorry.
And then Evelyn wants to know, how is your balance without toes? I thought they were important.
I mean, I'm a little wobbly. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not as bad as you would have thought. Mm-hmm. I think the balance is also affected by the heel bone too, not just by the toes. My biggest worry is actually with the driving. Because sometimes the shoe falls off, like even with the thing being in. So like the pedal, sometimes I'm known to like kind of like go out the car and the shoe's not with me. So I have to be careful not to get caught in the pedal and stuff.
Ooh, I bet.
Yeah.
Sandy says, so proud of you, Thomas. You have come so far.
Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate that.
It's just amazing. The things we can accomplish and we can get through. When you were talking about the PICC line and the wound vac, I had all that when I had my knee replaced. My left knee, it got infected. And I had to have a PICC line put in. I was on 6 weeks of vancomycin, which is
that's medication you had. Yep.
Yeah, one strong antibiotic for 6 weeks. And then I was at 8 months of oral antibiotics. And those things do a number on your body no matter what. And, fighting it with probiotics or yogurt or something was key for me. It was,
right.
But yeah, so I get it. I mean, the constant visits to get the bandages changed and carrying this vacuum with you everywhere you go.
On how powerful vectomycin is. When I first had it the first time, they didn't do the PICC line. They just did regular IV. And the medication was so powerful that it would actually pop my blood vessels. And I had to every time I get pretty much every day, I'd have to change a new IV because the vancomycin was actually popping my blood vessels.
Wow. Yeah, it's some strong stuff. I was doing it from home. They would send it to my house.
Okay.
You did the PICC
line.
Yeah, the PICC line was obviously in place. Yeah. And the nurse would come to the house every so often to drain
every
it.
week to change it out. Yeah.
Yeah. And but that was probably the longest 6 weeks of my life. It was But it was like I had a spot on my leg that wasn't closing up. I had a hole in my knee, right below my knee. And they had wound up having to do 2 additional surgeries after the initial one because it was still not closing, and it was crazy.
And you did wound vac too on that or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. The only wound vac I never did was I forget what it's called, but it's like very small. I never did that one. It's like very minuscule. It's like kind of like, what's the point wound vac, you know?
Mm-hmm. Sherry says, here, but on chipmunk speed to get caught up, I almost forgot it was Friday. You are not alone. I told Thomas backstage, I totally almost forgot it was Friday.
Right.
It was crazy. Brenda said, that makes me so sad. Yep. And then MRSA, oh my gosh, horrible patient care. Yeah. It's bad. Woo, made it through 3-speed. Holy cow, Jerry. Hello, Cindy, Brian, and Thomas, and the rest of you friends. Hello, Jerry. And there's where she answered your question. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't gonna.
No. I mean, like I always get that wrong. Like I can't remember the R or the O, you know. NPR, right. NPO, yeah.
Tim is from your channel, from Tim from Walker to Walker.
Yeah, he's from
That sounds like an amazing story too.
Yeah, he's from SBG actually. He's one of my SBG friends.
He's from where?
From Steak and Butter Gal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from Bella. I'm actually part of 3 different groups. Well, 4 if you count Mitch.
Hey, everyone from Cape Coral, Florida. When are you coming back, Amy? Brenda's jealous. She's vacationing in Florida for a bit, starting here for the beginning of 2 times speed. Boy, we're going to be sounding funny, Thomas.
Yes.
Everybody's saying hello.
Start sounding like chipmunks or something.
Yeah, something. Evelyn said, sorry for your loss, Thomas. Yeah.
Well, I'm doing a lot better now, Evelyn. So thank consolation.
It's hard. You always miss them, for sure.
Yeah.
Sandy said, love Bob Briggs.
Yes. I know you do, Sandy. You said that once before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Brenda said, Dr. Barry's a good dude. That's all he is a dude. And he says that in his speeches. Doctors and nurses are just dudes and chicks.
Yep.
It's funny. He's great. I don't know what day it is. Me neither. Your why needs to make you cry. I love that. I've heard that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Actually, I tell everybody.
Lisa Wiedemann that made that statement?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't that Dr. Wiedemann that made that statement, Lisa?
I have no idea. I have listened to so many people. Yeah, I don't know. But I know, other than my health, of course, my husband is my why. Making sure he's healthy. Because he goes through a lot more than I do. You know, and it will make me cry. So on with the chat. Me either, Amy. That's what I thought this whole month. Yep, not knowing what day it is. Hello, Brian. Good evening from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Remember, you are what you eat. Eat meat. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he says that every time.
I know it. I know.
Yeah.
That's all fine and good when you're strict carnivore. When my darling said it is good to have my Tim back, makes me cry. Yep.
Yeah.
I can imagine. It's like I said, my husband is.
Yeah, he has a pretty good story too. So
well, Tim, if you want to come on and tell your story, I would gladly have you on. Just reach out on Facebook or let me know here and we'll get some information exchanged. Right. We all need community, that's for sure. Even though Jerry is mainly carnivore, this community is everything. Yeah. My ex got MRSA from a TKR. He had a PICC line for over a year. It is no fun, and the pain is really nuts. So sorry you had to go through that. I feel for you too, Thomas, because been there, done that.
Yeah. I'm just
Absolutely love
thankful
my
that I'm not
keto
there
family.
anymore.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm just thankful I'm not there anymore, that I'm on a better path now. So.
You are not just kidding there. That's like crazy. Cindy, has Brian ever looked into the late Dr. Bernstein? We had Paul Madow on, and Paul had told him about it. Brian's really good about controlling his diabetes, though. He's way better than he was several years ago when he started with keto. Way better. Tanya is in the house. Hi, Cindy, brother Thomas. I'm at work, but listening. Not gonna lie, some carnies are too high strung. You got that right. That's for sure. Got a call I need to take. See you later.
See.
Didn't know you went through all that with your knee surgery, Cindy. It was awful. I guess I think I did talk about it on a video once.
Hey, Amy, how you doing?
Amy Hosp, a carnivore created in secret. That's interesting.
Yeah, she's actually a pretty good person too. She actually with you ever hear of Lynn DeVoki, Midlife Carnivore?
Mm-mm. Oh, Midlife Carnivore, yeah.
Yeah, the two of them actually worked together on some children's books. So,
nice.
For carnivore children's books.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. So.
Oops. Yeah. Gearing up for our 7 hangout, and I really need an app. I guess.
Yeah, me and her are part of another group, Healing Humanity, and we do this thing every Friday night called the Great Steak Escape, and we just talk basically with a whole bunch of other people.
Did you see Dr. Barry's video?
The one about the sugar diet, or
a sneak peek at a documentary?
At the animal. Yeah, I did see that. But, yeah,
that was amazing.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty good.
Feral Grandma.
Any kind of documentary is good, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. What did you say?
I said I think all the documentaries are going to be good, but that's just like my opinion. It's.
We shall see. For sure. That one looks like it's going to be amazing. Thomas, have you considered swapping your shoelace for a bootlace and try tying it to your ankle so you don't lose your shoe?
Well, considering my shoe's not laced and it's a strap, not really. No. Yeah, I could show you.
You might want to get some laced up shoes then.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I'll invest, but this is what my shoe looks like. So it's a strap, and the thing is my feet used to swell, but now they don't swell so much. So my feet also get smaller, so it just slips right out. But,
yeah. The Gamey's last day is today. Sherry said Friday. It's always Friday for me because I have no job. Oh, Sherry.
That's what it looks like. So my toes would go up to there and just slip right in there.
Yep. So Josephine says, every time I think my son has come over to carnivore, he sends me a pic of a lemon donut and said more lemon than sugar.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I call that brain fog. Oh, man. Josephine, I have 2 grown sons that I can't beg to even go keto, much less carnivore. And one is very ill, and he could definitely benefit from it. But there's nothing you can do. My God, MRSA is deadly. My husband had that. It is. I guess I flew home. Howdy, Amy. Everybody's saying hello. So, where you left off, it said your foot, both of your feet are healed.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, after losing all the toes on one foot, the holes closed up in the other foot.
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of antibiotics and wound vacs and all that stuff. MRSA's gone, thank goodness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
because that can be,
I
that's
severely
horrible.
hope it's not. I'm able to walk and stuff, so it's not.
Mhm.
You know.
That's fantastic. And you've been carnivore for 5 months, strict
I've
carnivore.
been carnivore, strict, fully carnivore with the community and everything like that with their help. For it's going to be 5 months in June 1st. I actually started January 1st.
Hmm.
So
That's good. And you feel it's helping?
I think it's helping a lot. I've gone down from I've gone down in size. I haven't really weighed myself too much. I got weighed once, and I don't think it really showed any weight loss, but I didn't really care about that. It's more about my health. But my pants have gone from a 44 waist to a 40 waist, and my shirts have gone from a 2X to an XL. And then, like I feel like my face is a lot thinner. There's some before pictures of my face being a lot rounder, a lot fatter. Um, yeah, I think that it's helping me immensely. I used to be too shy to like even do, like I could never go on camera before and do videos and stuff like that. I'd always be afraid of looking stupid and stuff. And
Yeah.
now I'm able to go on with these interviews. I'm able to do all this stuff. And
Yep.
so I think my confidence level is a lot higher than it used to be. Just so many things, because you don't realize, like, people, like, it's not just about losing your feet, losing your toes and stuff like that. Your confidence level, because the whole time, the reason why it's so therapeutic is the whole time I was in the hospital, no one wanted to listen to what was going on with me. Not my family, nobody. And they loved me, but they didn't want to hear about the toes coming off. They didn't want to hear me talking about it. So I had no output to talk about, no soapbox. So it wasn't until I joined the community. That's why the community is so important. It wasn't until I joined the community and had my first interview with Dave Mack that I was able to open up,
Right.
and tell my story,
It
and
definitely helps. And don't worry about, don't ever worry about looking stupid on camera. I do it every time
well, I
I get
don't
up there.
now. I don't now, but I mean, I might feel a little uncomfortable on camera at times,
No,
but I definitely don't feel stupid anymore. I can definitely.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I'm sure I just tried to record what we were eating today, and I flubbed it up so much. And my husband, or no, yesterday, and he's standing across the room from me, cracking up, and I'm leaving it in my video because I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Words were hard yesterday. See,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah. I
today
actually
join
did.
you over here on your channel too,
Yeah, I
Thomas.
actually did a video short of me making some beef back ribs in the air
Mhm.
fryer. So hopefully that comes out pretty good. I don't know if I put it
Very,
out yet or not, but you know,
very good.
yeah.
So
So
Lynn has subscribed and moved to your channel,
thank you,
or
Lynn.
is on both of them. She's on both. This is Rick. Hi, all. I'm in my friend's pub getting a meal. See you later. All righty, Rick.
Hello, Rick.
Hi and bye. Sandy said he's lost weight, buying small clothes. He's doing great. Yep, that's a
Is
sure
he?
sign that you're getting healthier when the size your clothes sizes go down and
Yep.
overall you feel good. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Now, how is your diabetes?
Actually, that's actually getting a lot better. I'm getting like a lot of highs and lows the past couple of days, but basically it's going like say I have like a higher number. Say it's like my highest number now is about 150. Today went a little bit higher than that because I think um, a lot of times like just the pain in my leg is a little bit bad today. Sometimes I have good days and sometimes I have bad days, and today just wasn't a good day for the pain. So whenever I have bad pain, the cortisol goes a little bit higher and just causes a little more of a problem. But I actually was talking to one of the doctors. I'm supposed to talk to my doctor. Unfortunately, he wants to wait until July, so I sort of have to kind of act on my own a little bit because I can't wait until July. Because what was happening was I'd have like a blood sugar of like 150, And then I take the insulin that was recommended for me, and then an hour later, it would be down to like 50. It went down to 53. So it was like dropping like majorly.
How is your
So,
A1C?
well, the A1C, you have to go by the baseline. So when I first started with carnivore, it was 8.9. Then when I got checked again after 3 months, it went down to 7.6. I know it's lower than 7.6, but unfortunately, 7.6 right now is my baseline because I won't know until July
Right.
of what the new baseline is. But I know with absolute certainty that it's less than 7.6.
Right.
Where it's at,
Well,
I don't know. I won't know
with
until July.
insulin, you
With
probably
the
don't need as much
yep,
as you did before,
yep.
and that's why you went low.
Yeah, they're
As,
thinking that the people I talk to, the people are helping that are on carnivore, the other doctors and stuff like that, the doctors on carnivore, they think that I'm becoming more insulin sensitive, and they think that they think that even just cutting the insulin in half is pretty much doable. So I
I didn't
mean, I
even
would have
have to
liked to
see a
gotten that
doctor for
from.
that.
I would have liked to have gotten that from my regular doctor. Of gotten like his like looking at it and stuff like that and finding out. But unfortunately, he doesn't want to see me until July, so there's not much I can do about that. So
It's also it's a lot of trial and error.
yeah, yeah,
Even my husband, he could sit down and eat a steak, and at any given time, and just steak, that's it. His blood sugars can go up to 200.
yeah,
And he met Dr. Berry. He asked him a question. He said, this happens at times,
yeah,
and I can't explain it. He said, unfortunately, with a type 1 diabetic, things like that happen. And there really isn't anything you do about it except to wait for it to come back down, because it does.
yeah,
It's just an
yeah.
aggravation.
I mean, like this morning, it was higher than normal. It was like it actually did go over the 200. But like I said, I was in a lot of pain and stuff like that. So I think the pain in the leg kind of bring that up and everything.
Yeah.
Now
With my husband,
it's at 114, so it's gone down quite a bit.
it's
But
good.
I've had it lower than that. Like I said, I actually had it 53 the other day. And I sort of had a cheat the other day, which everybody in the chat here that knows me knows this, so I'll tell you. What happened was I was downstairs and it was like 150, and I go down the stairs, and all of a sudden, like within an hour, I'm sitting on the bench because I actually live right like above and over from a chocolate shop. Now I don't get chocolate there or anything like that. I don't get like cookies or anything like that, but I do get the coffee. So they're actually pretty nice to me, and I give them some. That's the way I give them business. Support your community basically. And when I went, like I was pretty much like I was shaking too much to be able to go back up the stairs and get something in my apartment. So the closest place I was at was the chocolate shop. So I needed to grab something. So I basically got an Oreo cookie. The guy gave it to me for free. He didn't charge me for it, and to help bring the sugars up just a little bit. And I didn't like go. A lot of people tell me it's actually a good thing because it wasn't like I went there and said I want like a dozen Oreo cookies. I just said I just need one, just enough to kind of bring the sugars back up, and that's basically what happened. Sometimes you have to do the extreme thing. And
Oh yeah, my husband carries glucose tablets with him all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I have them upstairs in my apartment if I ever needed them. But normally, my first thing is if I had the ability, I would just like cook a burger patty or something like that, and the protein would actually help out too. And but unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that. I was shaking too much, and I mean, luckily, I was able to go into the store, but to go upstairs or like any further out, yeah, that would.
I know what it's like to have hypoglycemic episodes. I've had my share, and nothing to do with diabetes. It's a result of gastric bypass that I had
your body goes
years
through
ago.
and it just.
Do what?
The body like feels like it's like like you just.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Josephine said, yes, I try to let people know you don't have to go carnivore, do keto, still have good changes on it. And the longer you do it, you'll find you eat less vegetables and more meat as time goes on.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes. I eat very few vegetables, but now my sister, she likes them. Tap the like button. Yes, sir. Thank you. I am by to Rick. Brian said MRSA and C. diff. I don't ever want either of those. I try to stay as far away from hospitals as possible. Yep. Can't wait to see your bloopers, Cindy. Hashtag riblets, hashtag iguana nation.
You know who that's for.
Hashtag Mitch Fitz and Man Clan.
The Man Clan, I'm not sure who's that channel, but I knew the other four.
The what?
The last one, I'm not sure.
Carrie Mann?
The Man Clan. Is that? Oh, Carrie Mann.
That would be Carrie Mann.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Something Homestead Hal.
Yeah, Dr. Barry was on. Yes. They thought I had C. diff for 2 years after taking Augmentin. It was a combination of the Augmentin and overdose of B vitamins prescribed by my doctor. Wow. It's crazy. Some of the things. Hero Grandma, I'm just in from the gym between Professor K and Jonathan. I managed twice as much workout, so now I'm twice as tired and achy. I bet. You got me wore out. Carnies means carnival peeps to me. Let me saw your post on Facebook. Nice picture. So happy you had fun. Yes. Thomas, do you write down the numbers every day for your blood sugar?
I was, but I just
got to keep up with that. Keep a journal.
Yeah, no, I do, but I have the charts basically on this thing here, so it lets me know. It kind of like does it for me now,
How far back does it go?
I'm not sure. I have to take a look. I think it goes back like a few months, if I remember. Yeah. I mean, the one I actually have it on my phone too. I think the one on the phone is a little bit more precise. And there's a thing called a download called Clarity, and it actually gives a little bit more of like the detailed information. So. But you know what it was? I used to write it down because the doctor would be like, "Oh, you write your numbers down," and then every time I'd write it down, I'd show like 3 months worth, and I'd give it to him. I'd also do my blood pressure, and all that stuff. And this is how they would do it. They would like look at it, and just gonna get a napkin here. They look at it, be like, "Oh yeah, that looks really good," and they throw it down and just be like it would just be.
Are they checking your A1C every 3 months?
Yeah, they do the test of the A1C, but that's all they care about. It's like basically they were just having me do it for busy work, basically. So it's like
A1C is a 3-month average of.
Oh no, I'm not talking about 3 months. I'm talking about me writing down my numbers, like Brian was just saying. They were telling me to do it, but then when I came to them looking, they never. I would say, "Are you even looking at the numbers?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're looking." So, no, you're not.
I think they wanted you to do it more for you because they see the numbers.
Yeah.
I'm checking your A1C all the time.
Right.
It's like I said, that's a 3-month average.
But I was just like, okay, I really don't, I know when my, I check my A1C and I check my numbers, but,
Bill needs a glass of electrolytes, salt water. Which is what electrolytes are to me, salt water.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I do for my electrolytes.
Awesome. What's for dinner, Grandma Wendy? So feral Grandma must be Wendy. I'm learning. Papa Carnivore, hello.
Hello, Peter.
Bill Cook. Howdy, Bill and Papa. Amy says, can't wait to see Animal. I'm watching The Magic Pill on the flight home. Cool.
And Peter's helped me out quite a bit in this whole journey. I think he's been very.
Bill, that guy Freddie's gym was really bothering me in the Dr. Barry chat. I ignored. Okay. I don't know what all happened there, but it's all right. Ribeye, but the ones I liked were in a pack of 3, so I'm cooking the third one now. She's cooking ribeyes. Says to eat 300 grams of carbs of rice per day. He can have at it.
Darth Carnivore. Hey, Charlie.
That's
How you
what he
doing?
wants. The Magic Pill documentary has aged well, although I do wonder whatever happened to that little girl years later now. I don't think I've seen it, so I really can't
I
say
think
who
I
it
know
was.
which little girl he's talking about, but yeah, I mean that's pretty good. You should see it. It's a pretty good documentary about keto, basically.
That's why you need at least one moderator in these chats. I have a few. So, Charlie. Some people swear carbs are good for working out.
Yeah.
And many more than that are super hug chat like Dr. Barry. Of course. Jeff has a question. Do you have a CGM?
Yes.
On your body? Do you have a CGM?
Well, the actual thing is on my body, but this is the meter.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It reads to that, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Bill, was it Dr. Alo?
I just didn't think you'd want to see the actual thing in my body.
No, he's just asking.
Yeah, no, I know. I get it.
They're all talking about Dr. Barry's chat or something, somebody else's chat. Please hit the like button, everyone. Thank you, Amy. Lots of trolls in Dr. Barry chat today.
Yeah. There's probably lots of trolls on Dr. Barry's chat all the time. You just don't catch them all the time. With as many people as he has.
Like your hashtags. You got a clan, Carrie Man and Fam.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Once you said to me out loud, it makes sense. I just didn't think about it.
Part of healing is telling your story. I feel like my story is minor compared to yours and all of the others out there. This community is so perspective. Therapeutic. Yeah, I was going to say. I have a friend that's gone from type 2 diabetes to type 2 plus quad bypass. I didn't try to argue diet with her, but I was sneaky enough to suggest a CGM. Her doctor thought that was a good idea. Good. At least that will show her some things.
You hope, right?
From there, it's a website that you can get a good idea for the A1C. Yep. Did you catch any fish at Brian? Last check for me was 5.1. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What's the purpose for a cheat, Thomas? He just said his blood sugars were low and he needed something to bring them up.
Yeah.
I don't know how to post the link in these YouTube chats. Without being a moderator, you can't post a link. What link are you trying to post? And one of them can possibly grab it. Hello, Charlie. Darth Carnivore, start looking for your mail for your daughter soon. It should be sent tomorrow. That's nice. Hello, Kay. Simply Aunt Kay. I like that. Awesome, Evelyn. Thanks. And everybody else is just saying hello.
A lot of response.
Meat will raise blood sugars. Protein can raise blood sugars.
Yes.
But it's mostly carbs that raise it.
Yeah.
But on occasion, meat can. Absolutely. So I haven't been fishing too much rain here, stream high and muddy. That amazing fresh seafood here all week. Raw oysters are amazing. No. That's not so much.
Yeah. I mean, a pretty good video on the what affects blood sugar is a video by a lady called Sarah Hallberg. She's passed away since then, but she did that's actually where I got my my peak interest in, when she said that, fats hardly move the sugars, carbs raise it up a lot, and then proteins a little bit, and that's where I kind of got that seed that was planted to kind of get me to do carnivore. Sardines for Cindy. Okay, sorry.
Brian said, Evelyn or Amy or Andy, if one of you could try to find this website that has an A1C calculator, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Sardines for Cindy. Blech. Nope. You had to go there, Charlie. Fats heal, though. That depends. It doesn't work for everyone. Not everybody's the same. Charlie, I've actually seen Dr. Hallberg as a patient once. Probably need more fats to heal, Thomas. Again.
Yes. I eat a lot of fats. That's why I'm healing. I am healing now. So yeah, I'm doing a lot better than people think I'm doing. So
that's good. That's fantastic. That's why you're here.
Well,
to finish done.
Yeah.
Lynn, I ain't even going there. They're both disgusting. I like burger patties and meatloaf, meatballs, but I prefer steaks, ribs, roast. It all sounds good. Butter and more butter. I like butter. Yes, I eat a stick of grass-fed butter daily. Nope. Or close to it. It's all good. So, Thomas, anything else that you didn't mention?
Well, about like with the past and everything, I think everything was
about your health,
all the past, all the things that were like would you consider like to be nightmarish were like within like 2-3 years. Actually probably a little bit longer than that, but the really bad parts with toes being removed and all that stuff was like within like 3 years of time, like altogether. No, I'm on the right path now, I'm getting better every day. I thank whoever, I think whether it's like, I'm not really a very religious person, but I thank God every day that things are so much better. I mean, in the beginning, obviously I wasn't really, I did have like depression and stuff like that. And, now that's gone, and it's just, I think every day, I think people like you, I think people like, Mitch and Carrie Mann and Adam and everybody, and just not really much to tell, Gratitude goes out there.
You're not kidding. It really helps to have the avenue to tell your story. Evelyn, I found that. I just posted it. Anyone hear about semi-retired Bob's truck being stolen? 20-year-old rust bucket, but under the cab was stuffed with things for his move. I did hear that somebody stole his truck. Well,
Oh, you're talking about Bob? Yeah, I heard that too.
I tried like 4 bread and butter pickles today, seeing how I react. Those are good if you get the sugar-free ones. Butter pole, salted or unsalted, it don't matter. Depends what you're making, how you're using it.
Well, what I like to do is I with my burger patties, because I'm on a budget, so I eat like kind of like burger patties I get from Walmart, and I got this idea actually from Papa Carnivore. But I just kind of like do it. He does it with the steaks, and I do it with steaks too. But basically, I just take a burger patty, cut it in 4s, and each cut gets a pat of butter. Gets a pretty thick pat of butter. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say like I'm doing a lot of fat now is like I'll have a whole stick of butter with two I used to do it with like the whole stick of butter with 4 patties. Now I do it with 2 patties, a whole stick of butter. So like my fat intake is like totally increased. I do a lot more ghee, so like, I just eat a lot of fat,
Well, starting Sunday, I'm doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
Actually, I was thinking of doing starting that too.
I've done that before. I've done it before. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, to tell you the truth, I'd say about 90%, 95% of my meals is pretty much beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. occasionally I might have some chicken or so, or like a pork rinds or something like that. But for the most part, it's usually beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
There's that link for the A1C calculator.
Okay, I actually have the chart in my email, so I kind of already have it. Thank you. Who
Salt
sent
they
it?
put in, not so sure it's good salt. I had shrimp, crab, raw oysters, mussels, lobster, yummy, so good. Nope, none of it sounds good. I like shrimp. Thanks, Cindy. I like to tell people you're welcome, Brian. Thank you. I also love my Topo Chico sparkling water.
Yep, I actually Walmart actually has the regular. I get my food delivered to me, so I do it through Walmart. It's a lot easier. And, I got my first taste of Topo Chico, so
it's good.
It is very good.
Brenda said, "I'm inspired by you, Thomas. Keep up the great work. Your journey will help so many people."
Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that.
Yes. If unsalted, just add your own salt. Yep. Thomas is my little Jersey carnivore protege.
Yes.
And he said, I ate off plan tonight, which is really strange for me. I never cheat, but I ate a gluten-free dessert. I will know in a day or two if it makes me sick. I never eat off plan because of how sick I get. Yep. Got a 10-pound bag of chicken legs for cheap. Best way to cook? Asking. Yep. Chicken legs, spray it with duck fat, put a little salt on it, and throw it in the air fryer. Awesome. All I need is to cut cheese and keto chow. See, deep fried in beef fat, Bill. Yeah, there's that too. You can deep fry it or air fry it. It's easy.
Yeah.
Bill, cook those chicken legs. Rick, charge them Mopar heart attack chicken, deep fry in tallow.
Yeah, he calls it his heart attack diet.
Deep fried crew here. Yeah. You beat me to it. Yep. I also drank several Coke Zeros this week because I needed caffeine to help ward off a migraine. Coke Zero was so good. I rarely drink soda, but was desperate. Yep. Migraine disappeared. The only way I use unsalted butters for brown butter bites. Ask me why. Why, Evelyn? Why? Inquiring minds. Retired Rick, hello.
Hello, retired Rick. How you doing?
I could get addicted to Coke Zero. Yeah, my Diet Pepsi. Hi, Cindy and Thomas. Brian. Bill, if you have a Ninja Foodie pressure cook, then air fry. They get done real fast that way. I love air fried chicken. I retired Rick. Evelyn. So, Evelyn, why unsalted for brown butter bites? Terry B. Hi, carnivore friends and everybody else in the chat.
Terry B, hello.
Y'all are not going to like me because I am not carnivore. Going back to clean tomorrow. Yep. Rocking keto, Amy. Air frying sounds good. And it's easy. Easy. If you make butter bites with salted butter, it causes your lips to wrinkle because there's so much salt. The flavor intensifies. Oh, good to know.
Yeah, you tend to pucker your lips.
Good to know. Oh my, puckered lips. Oh, Brenda. So, Thomas, do you have any friends and family that you have talked to about keto or carnivore that just aren't following along?
I don't think my family's really following along. They said they were, but I don't really, because I'll ask questions and they don't really know the answer, and it's like, okay, well, if you watched my channel, you would have known this, But
or just ask you.
Yeah. Well, I know at least I know my sister, and I know she's not really looking at my channel, because if I like, sometimes I'll say something just to kind of see if she is listening, and I know her. She would definitely comment, on it, and there's no way she'd be able to control herself to not say something. So, but like my niece actually came on one of my lives once, and she's like, "Yeah, we watch you all the time." And I think it was just she just knew I had a live, and I think that she, just said that they watch me, but I don't think they do. Because when I did, when I did a video called Family, where I actually recorded everybody, and no one knew why I was making a video. So it's
Wow.
like, well, but that's
Yeah.
fine. They are supporting it somewhat. I sort of had to cheat on Easter because they weren't 100% support. Like it was like sort of like, well, we made what we made, so you have. So I did what I could, and so I kind of like already considered that day. I'm like, okay, you know what? There's no way I'm going to really be able to be 100%. So as I can. And I went right back on track.
Nobody, Thomas, nobody's perfect.
No.
I don't care what anybody says. No one is perfect.
Yep.
And for those that claim that they are, I don't think so. I don't think so. Amy said, I aspire to be carnivore, but I'm too social. It's limits options when I hang out with friends.
Yeah.
Lynn says, I guess I like wrinkled lips, Evelyn. I just love the salted butter for butter bites. That's awesome. We welcome all as we all live our own lives. That's, yep.
No, I mean.
Lynn, you are the master. And Wendy says, Cindy, we're okay with you because we have carnivore zen. We chill.
Yep, carnivore calm.
I'm good anyways. See, a lot of people in this chat don't know me. But I'm just going to say a lot of people here do know. I have lost 100 pounds on keto. I've maintained a 100-pound loss for over 2 years now. I've got off of blood pressure meds, not going carnivore, staying keto after 50 years of being on blood pressure meds. I was pre-diabetic. I am not diabetic, not even close. And everything is great. And I'm 67 years old. I didn't start until I was 62. So.
Well, I didn't tell this part of the story, but you kind of just brought it up a little bit.
Go ahead.
When I first started, like about 20 years ago, when I was like starting like low carb type thing, and everything, and just doing things, I used to weigh 379 pounds. Mm-hmm. So I'm about 240 now. So I've lost quite a bit of weight.
Yes, that's amazing. And it's like you said, the weight loss is great. It's like an added benefit to all the health benefits that are there for people. And it doesn't matter if you're ketovore, carnivore. If you're we're all in this for better health, no matter which aspect of the proper human diet you're on. The end result, the goal is to better your health for all of us.
And just to my sister, she doesn't really know. They don't really know too much about the carnivore and everything like that. But my sister is actually pretty supportive. Like she actually is pretty excited about me going to Boston. That she actually gave me some money to get the hotel fare and everything like that. So nice. She's a little bit more successful than I am. So she actually she's like, this is for your birthday. So an early birthday gift. So she gave me the money to do that. So
that's awesome.
So it's like she's willing to help me do what I'm doing. She just doesn't really think that it will work. She just, as I get better and better, and as she sees the results, then that's going to be a different story. But
that's impressive. Family needs to be supportive.
Yeah.
All the way.
Like I always say, like, you don't need to agree with what I'm doing, but I do want you to support what I'm doing. Let me know that at least support the concept that I'm making this decision and this is for myself. And That's basically it. Like, like you don't have to agree with it, but support it enough to respect that it's me that is making this decision.
Absolutely. Sherry, so oh my God, I'm 22 minutes behind again. Speaking of the ex he just called, we still have used the same bank, even though he's in Montana and I'm in Arizona. Wanted to know if I was having problems with the app. Load up the salt. I have a T-shirt that just says extra salty. There you go.
That's cool, Charlie.
I'm sorry, Thomas. My whole family supports me, even though they eat sad. Yep. Cindy, I'm sorry, but I don't believe we've met before, have we? No, because but I'm here all the time. I do a live every Wednesday with my husband, every Friday with somebody with me, like today with Thomas. And I have other videos out of what I eat for the week.
Last week you had Aaron Booby Goats on. I remember that.
Yes, I did. She's funny. She's so funny.
Yeah.
Love it. Charlie. Hey, Thomas. Charlie. I think Dr. Chafee just may be perfect. Yeah, well, I don't think so. There's only one perfect idol. Listen, Thomas, just be patient with your sister, your family. Just be the shining example of excellent health.
That's my plan.
They will start to ask more questions.
That's
what I've been hoping for with my kids for 4.5 years now. I'll set the example.
Even if it doesn't happen, I know I'm getting better, and that's all that matters.
That's right. You just got to concentrate on you. That's right. Big accomplishment. Thank you. Well, you started low carb 20 years ago. That's amazing. My sister did too. I'm only 7 years in. You got me. I'm like 4.5 years in, Amy. Almost 5. Then ain't nothing wrong with keto carnivores, just way less carbs. When I started keto, I went very strict, 20 total carbs or less every day for probably 3 months in the beginning. I feel the best on the lion way of eating ruminant meat, salt, and water. Ooh, that's rough. Cindy, what are your main veggies in your keto journey? Very few. Green beans and asparagus are probably the two that I've been eating the most. Occasionally broccoli. Besides salads, once in a while.
Green beans, because I read that green beans helped lower blood sugar, or did something with the glycemic index. And then avocado, because I used to like it on my burgers. But, I don't even do that anymore. Sometimes I will have some hot sauce, but I don't count that really.
Sometimes what?
I have hot sauce, like the Frank's hot sauce on my eggs or something like that. But, I really don't count that as taking me off.
Yeah.
And I do that. I was doing a thing called, I don't know if you ever heard of the term priming. I was doing that, and it just kind of like helps me eat more, So, like I was able to go from 4 eggs to like about like 8 eggs, just by adding a little hot sauce to it.
Mm-hmm.
Little trick.
Charlie, Darth Carnivore, that Boston meat party sounds like it'll be a blast. Just no throwing meat overboard in protest, though. the tea party.
Wow. That would be a perfect scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you located, Thomas?
I live in New Jersey.
You don't have that Jersey accent.
It's fun. I get so many different things. I had a person the other day say I had a New York accent. And I was like, I do? Like, I don't hear it.
No. Both of you up there on that screen have amazing stories. Thanks for sharing. You're so sweet, Lynn. Don't look for support from family unless they actually support.
Yeah.
My kids are behind me 100%. They just don't follow suit. Okay, gotta run. Have a great weekend. Cindy, congrats on your amazing health results. I'm going to be 63 in June, so we're almost the same age. I was 101 pounds, reversed diabetes, high blood pressure, fatty liver, depression, anxiety, and more.
Yeah.
I was pretty healthy before I started. I was just big and high blood pressure. carnivore. Also, my chronic painful arthritis in my knees, back, shoulders is gone. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's
Dr. Chafee is a cute kid. That he is. And I got to meet him in person at Hack Your Health, as well as Dr. Baker, Dr. Barry, Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Ovadia. Yeah. So I've gotten to meet quite a few of them. The power just went off. Currently no storm, but so much rain lately, a power pole might have gone over. Could have. It was storming here this morning. It all comes down to N=1.
It does.
Yep.
Totally agree with you, Brian.
I was strict too, but did it wrong. Low calorie and my hair fell out. Whoa. Carl, hello. Cindy, do you have a good asparagus recipe? I do not. The only time I get it is when I go out. I don't cook it. Brian doesn't like it, so I get it when I go out. Hello, Papa Carnivore. I had hot sauce on my raw oysters tonight. Priming come from B and BG. Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what B and BG stands for.
I don't know. You got to explain yourself, Brian. I'm almost 68.
I got the priming from SPG. I'm not sure what B and BG is.
B and BG. I don't know. I'm not sure. Terry Sue says, I'm almost 68. I just turned 67 this month. Outside 90 degrees on my stationary bike. Go Thomas and Cindy. Thank you so much. I was super strict and logged everything that went in my mouth when I started this. I was logging a stick of chewing gum. That's a little obsessive. I haven't tracked anything in years. Yeah, I'm going to get back to track. I'm going to be tracking. I'm going to be checking ketones, everything during beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, because mine usually run high when I'm really strict. Hey, Rick, how goes it? Dr. Chafee is candy. He's married too. I occasionally eat some pickles or sauerkraut with my meat. Now that's not carnivore. Use hot sauce, but I make sure it's very clean because many of them have seed oils and sugar in them. Hey, Carl, hot sauce on sardines. Advantage of going to the gym, massage chairs. Now that would be. I didn't pay for that to go to at the gym. I didn't pay for that. Carl, I would get one and do asparagus and alive. There you go, Carl. Sue, love is in the air. I used to be an N=2, but the other half of me disappeared and is not coming back. You're funny, Charlie. He looks amazing. He has lost a lot. I have asparagus twice a year. I have it when we go out if they have it. Had sardines with hot sauce yesterday. See, there's a long running thing on my Wednesday night lives for those that are joining us from Thomas's channel. My husband and I, like I said, go live every Wednesday, and these wonderful people that come into the live stream inevitably will bring up the subject of sardines, and I hate them. Hate them. And they do it just to hear me go, bleh. So that's where that
always says sardines are bait.
should have been SBG, not B and BG. All right, yeah. What's SBG?
I kind of thought that, Brian. So.
What's SBG? I'm lost.
It's Steak and Butter Gang.
Oh, see, I don't watch her, so I don't know. Yeah. Thanks, Rockin' Amy.
Yeah. Actually, priming was actually created by Coach Raymond Nazon. He's the one who it's his brainchild, basically.
Okay. I need to move south. I was a fair-skinned person in Florida. Got some sun and feel amazing. That's awesome.
Great.
Got it. Steak and butter. I knew what you meant. I do the same thing. Many newer carnivores struggle or fail because they don't eat enough fat. Thomas, how are you feeling now? Any health issues, or are they gone?
There's still a few issues here and there, but they're very minor,
Well, the diabetes
it's going to take a while. Yeah. What was that? I'm sorry.
I said the diabetes is there, but it's getting
Right.
better,
It's
which is
everything is getting better, you know.
that's amazing. I need it first. I earned it. That was my treat today. Hey, Carl. And no way, Terry. I know you mean well. Nope. 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 Not. It is not happening. I can live life without sardines and raw oysters and all the other stuff.
That's funny.
And best thing is, I'm not alone in that sentiment. So
I can actually eat sardines, but I can't. I know Booby Goats had like where she went for like a whole week with like eating nothing but sardines. I don't think I could do that. I can maybe eat like one can, you know, at the most like maybe every 3 days, but that's about it. You know?
Amy, you're all set. You can do whatever you want here. I am not eating sardines. Steak and butter gal, priming protocol is how I went from walker to walking. That's awesome. I do, yeah, that's cool. Black and nope, I'm with you, Cindy. That's right. See, I told you I wasn't alone. I don't like fishy stuff. I had tuna yesterday. I got to get the stuff out that I want and get it eaten by tomorrow because Sunday is all beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Surely there's a keto chow recipe involving sardines. Charlie, that's just wrong. That's wrong, dude. Yeah, no.
You know,
It doesn't.
I never had keto chow at
Oh,
all.
man.
Never had it.
See, I am going to incorporate the beef-based keto chow, possibly, in my
Okay.
beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. They have a core line that's chocolate, strawberry, vanilla core. It has stevia, or they have some, if they still have it, that's unsweetened. And you mix it with fat and water. And the fat is the fat of your choice. I always use butter and water,
Right. Yeah.
and it's good.
Yeah. No, I've heard of keto chow, but I've never
I'll
gotten
say
it.
the product is great. The company is fantastic. The owners of the company are straight up really good people.
Yeah. Someday maybe I'll try it. You know, why not?
And I'm an affiliate, so you better use my link. If you do, it'll save you some money.
Sure.
Tuna is way more fishy than smoked polar sardine. I believe you, but it's still not going to make me do it. Priming is key. It resets your metabolism, fills your nourishment tank that gives your body what it is designed to do, flourish. Restrictive eating, even on carnivore, leaves you on a plateau.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that a bit.
Nope.
I should try them with hot sauce. Go for it. You do it. Cindy, do you eat tuna? Yes, sir. I just ate some yesterday. I made a casserole with tuna yesterday. And it was delicious. And my husband has leftovers to eat. But tonight's dinner is keto chow, ice cream. See, it's such a product that you can do so many things with, whether it's just as a shake, or you can use that shake to make ice cream. You can use it in
It sounds very
waffles.
delicious. Yeah.
You can put it with the eggs and cheese and make waffles, chaffles. So much you can do. It's very, yeah. And
Yeah.
they're
Was that on
electrolytes.
your channel that I made that joke about the chaffles? Was that on
But
your channel?
pancakes,
Yeah,
Shan-
the pancakes.
yes. Because you don't have a waffle maker, you make
No,
pancakes.
I don't,
Toast
and,
Fridays,
and I really don't have any like interest in getting chaffles. So I'm like, okay, to me, like spending any money is like kind of not worth it. So maybe someday I'll get a waffle maker, but just right now. So if I could have pancakes, then I could just
pancakes, it'll work.
yeah.
Just make you some pancakes. Sardine Expedition is a cool YouTube show. You can have at it, Terry Sue.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was actually telling Erin, it's kind of funny. Like now she's getting commercials on her channel, like on her videos and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And every single time the commercial comes on, it's always something with sardines. And I told her, I'm like, half the time when you have a commercial on somebody else's channel, it has nothing to do with carnivore. It's like a commercial about Ozempic or a commercial about this or that. It's nothing to do with, And I'm like, your commercials actually fit you. Because she eats sardines and everything. Like, how'd you luck out on that one?
Yeah.
I thought that was
I
funny.
hate tuna fish so dry and yuck. Well, that's the way I feel about sardines. Yuck. Nope.
So what's funny is I used to hate tuna fish because of the mayonnaise. I never liked the mayonnaise on it. Now I like the tuna fish because I don't put mayonnaise on it. I actually like it right out of the pouch, just right there.
Now, for all you carnivores that don't use mayonnaise, have you tried Chris Cooking Nashville's butter mayonnaise? It's just butter and egg.
Not yet.
It is very good. I will be making some for beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Don't get commercials. It's too funny. Erin gets sardine commercials. What if someone triple dog dares you to do? Nope. They pay me $1 million, I might. And that's a big might. Somebody gives me $1 million.
Yeah, I think I would do it for $1 million. That's a lot of money.
$1 million in my hand, and
Right.
they can stand here and watch me eat them.
Like before taxes or after taxes?
It's cash. There's no tax involved. I didn't say that.
Okay.
I saw a young lady at the gym. And suddenly had a new goal. She was the muscled kind of heavy and look good in a cropped t-shirt. I want to look that good in a cropped t-shirt. There you go. I have no desire.
Yeah, I really don't care how I look in a cropped t-shirt. So
I've hated sardines my entire life till I've tried Polar Smoke. No, Terry, you're not the first one that's tried to convince me to try these things. And I'm just going to put it out there. I am a Taurus, and I am stubborn as the day is long, and I am not.
If you don't mind me asking, when's your birthday?
The 12th of May.
My sister's is May 4th.
Yeah.
Which I always joke with her. She hates Star Wars, but yet I always tell it's Star Wars Day.
May 4th, yeah. Thank you so much for coming by, Josephine, and catch you on the next one. Favorite sardines, a King Oscar, an extra bit. Nope. $1 million. That might do it. We had our crop top and braless days. May the 4th is awesome.
Well, yeah, I would figure that you, Charlie, would like May the 4th.
Yeah. My why helps me stay carnivore. It provides a wall of defense against the tide of temptation. My why is healing. My first goal is to heal my thyroid. My body prioritizes other ailments first. Well, good luck with the thyroid thing as you go along. May the fat be with you. I hate King Oscar, too fishy. Terry Sue just need to make her some in a hidden recipe. She wouldn't know the difference. No, Brian. That's just mean. Don't look very good in crop tops. Nope, they don't. Nope.
Yeah, I would be a little worried if we did.
Terry. There's this guy. Now, my husband and I bowl. And there's this guy at the bowling alley. This young guy, he's got a gut. He thinks he's God's gift to women, though. He wears these button-down shirts that's unbuttoned down to right above his navel while he's bowling. And I'm like, dude, it's like, he's disgusting. Does that mean it's healthy? I am healthy, dude, without sardines. Crab tops and sardines. What the hell? That's right. That's the other thing on my channel. What the hell? That's exactly right, Lynn.
That's funny.
All right. So Thomas, if anybody has any more questions for Thomas, just put them in the chat, please, and thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this is great.
And I want to thank all of my members that are scrolling across the bottom here. I appreciate all of you. Amy, what the hell? Anyway, I also want to thank everyone in the chat for spending your Friday night with us. I appreciate everybody. Susan, I went for a walk and had to tell the baby good night. I'll catch up. Okay, honey. Darth Carnivore made me think of Lady Gaga's meat dress, but a crop top made of sardines.
Yeah.
Charlie. Thanks, Thomas, and thanks, Cindy. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And Thomas, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Your story is definitely one that needs to be told over and over because you've come such a long way.
Yeah.
From where you were to where you are now and where you still need to go. And it's like, it's incredible.
Yeah. And it's just going to keep on getting better from here, you know.
Yeah, that's right. You just got to keep pushing forward. And, you know, if you have a cheat meal, don't worry about it. Just go right back on.
I think other people worry about it more than I do, to tell you the truth.
You know, but because there's so many people out there that are ridiculing others for going off plan.
Yep.
And Dr. Berry even says he's carnivore, he cheats with keto.
Yep.
You know, he's like,
sometimes it
he
just
knows
happens, you know.
Nobody's perfect. And yeah. But I really appreciate you and all you've come through, and I thank you so much. And just keep on keeping on because you're doing amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, y'all, for making my spin on my back better. Yeah. I want a bacon dress. There you go. Now you're talking. Thanks, guys. Fun conversation. Thank you, Deb. Bye, all. Thanks, everyone. Great story, Thomas. Thanks, Thomas.
Thank you, guys.
Your biking was better. Got it. I was going to say, what's wrong with your back? Everyone have a great evening and weekend. I will see you. That's right, Brian. Sherry, oh yay, got caught up just as you're ending. Ugh. And what the hell? Yeah. If y'all want to know what that's about, you got to join me on Wednesdays.
Yep.
That's right.
Where you see episode 2.
That's right. That's right. It's going to be a thing. Wednesdays. What the hell? Episode 2, 3, 4, whatever.
Well, you just had episode 1, so I figured episode 2 would be the next.
Yeah, we just did that because I decided that's what we're going to do because it comes up every week. Keto is a cheat, which is fine for most of us. Bacon crop top. Keep doing it, Thomas. It will effeminately help you. It will definitely help you.
Yeah. You know, I get that all the time too.
That's an interesting word there, but I got it. I figured it out too. Anyway, everybody in the chat, have a great night. I am going to go. You hang on a minute, Thomas.
I will.
Good night, everybody.